Fast and Furious Crossroads. I actually want to talk about this game about now and give you my full thoughts on it. So this game is gonna be coming out on Friday, I believe, August 7th. So the game, I just want to talk about it. So of what I think about some parts, specifically as a Need for Speed competitor, because that's what some of my series is trying to make it, when really that's not possible. Because when you think about Need for Speed, like right now, you would think about stuff like customization and like racing. But Fast and Furious Crossroads, it just looks like an action game, not really like a racing, like full-on racing game, like Need for Speed. And they're trying to compete with Payback, and to do that, if they would try and kill Payback, which they can't because Payback is already dead. And when you would look at Need for Speed Payback, you had customization, you had street racing. Like Fast and Furious was about street racing, so why not just make a Fast and Furious game that was about street racing and not just a blockbuster action movie game. And other than the fact that it's nothing to do, even though it's nothing like Need for Speed, which is what they're trying to quote-unquote kill when you can. So this was announced around whenever Payback came out, and Payback was... Because Payback, it wasn't a horrible game. It wasn't a great game. It was just... my opinion, it was just okay. It was just how to describe it is just okay. Because I got some enjoyment out of it. But there's so many other things that I hated about Payback. And Fast and Furious Crossroads, it just doesn't look like it's going to be able to compete with Need for Speed. Like I said, and besides all that, of course, we have the graphics. So, we all know that Vin Diesel basically looks like, Mr. Potato Head, because of how textureless it looks. Since the character models look like they're literally just ported from a PlayStation 3 game. But the game itself, like most of the time, it looks tolerable for a mobile game. So the graphics are bad. And to describe the game, it's basically Need for Speed Payback times 100 while being extremely high on weed. Yeah, it looks really that bad. So, talk about the gameplay from what we know. So, imagine what every car nerd hates about Fast and Furious in a game, and then you're claiming it's supposed to compete with Need for Speed. Like, all this stuff. And then the voice acting. It sounds like the voice actors were literally recording their lines with their phone on the toilet. Yeah, it's that bad. I only did it once. Yeah, voice acting is bad. And then... so, another bad thing about the game is... it's probably since, like, some of it's from, even though that, like, has barely anything to do with Fast and Furious, like, nothing makes sense. Like, there's a part where what I was talking about being, like, that part in Fast 5 when they were Rio. She wasn't there. So, like, nothing about that makes sense. Like, seriously, like, what is that? Like, you have all this stuff, like, we have this container thing that looks like it was taken from some Lego game. Then you have, like, the helicopter with turrets. Like, what is all that? Like, what I'm saying is that none of that makes sense. And there's some good stuff, like, most part of the car list doesn't seem that bad. Like, they've got the Supra, like, tuner-influenced cars. Like, you have an E30, R32, Evo, like, some other Sky ones. Like, and there's an R34. And then you have the Evo, like, M3. Like, all of those cars, I'm basically trying to say. And then, so all I say good about is probably just the car list. Because it doesn't seem that bad. And the fact that it actually has multiplayer, but my expectations are low for multiplayer. So, that's some of the stuff that I've said. And then, will I get it when it comes out? No. I'm probably gonna I'm just gonna wait until it's on sale. Because if there was some point I actually had hope that this game could actually be something worth my time, like its potential. Mainly because of like the car list and the fact that we haven't seen anything else. Like, we just haven't seen much gameplay. And like the car list I mentioned earlier just doesn't look too bad, and then maybe the gameplay parts of it, like I think there's gonna be some street races. There we go. And some of us is competing with specifically Payback. So I don't know why they would compete with Payback instead of Heat, because like why would someone think that Payback is the best game in the series? And it's just not a Need for Speed competitor. Like all that. So the game, it has just a little bit of potential. Okay? It just has a little bit of potential. So, and then there was also Project Cars 3, which I might try out. Probably, unless they're gonna patch in pit stops and stuff, because, like, are they literally trying to target Project Cars 3 at 9-year-olds? Well, I'm not talking about Project Cars 3, I'm just talking about Swami Studios himself. So yes. So this game, I just don't see it being a Need for Speed killer. So I'm just going to recap this. It's not a Need for Speed killer because, one, it's missing so many elements of that Need for Speed has, like customization, like lots of street races, all this stuff, and the graphics are pretty bad for a current gen game. That might not be the biggest deal, but I just want to point that out. And then the gameplay looks garbage. At least most of it from what we've seen. The voice acting, just so much stuff. Like, I've only seen like one good thing about this entire game. And then, so it was gonna be competing with something, or like inspired by something. It would actually be something like Split Second, or like Spy Hundreds. It's more like those games. It's not really like Need for Speed. So that's in Fast Furious Crossroads, and the fact that that's not a Need for Speed killer. Anyway, guys, peace. And right before you click off this video, I just want to say that about 68% of you people aren't even subscribed to this channel. So if you like the content that I put out and you want to see more, I would say hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video, and then, or even hit the bell to get notified about videos whenever I put them out. Really helps me out.